we'll be on with post-game reaction as well. Darby Brown, KWTX, our TV sister station, so to speak, along with the CW, is in Denver and joins us from Denver live right here on 365 Sports. So, Darby, what has been, based on what you've seen, kind of the mood of this team coming off how they ended the season in such a tough fashion?
Yeah, I think they were definitely humbled. I know we've heard Coach Scott Drew use that word, and I've heard some of the players today were actually able to go into the locker room, which was a nice change, and have a good amount of access with them today. And you felt like they were humbled. They tried to learn from the loss, and I think they're feeling ready to prove that they are better than the performance they put out there in Kansas City.
Darby, UC Santa Barbara fired up. They feel like this is a good matchup for them. What do you think when they match up with a quad one team for the first time this year when they take on Baylor?
I think it's going to be tough for them. I mean, I think you can't count out any team that's in the tournament, but I think I like Baylor in the matchup overall. I will say I saw them practice today. I mean, it's practice. They have some guys who can really shoot. They had a pretty good practice going, but I think when you pair them up with Baylor, I think the matchup it favors the Bears, but no, I think that, any tournament team, you can't count them out. So we'll see what happens. But overall, I would say Baylor just, looked like they have more comparing just what was out here on the floor today.
Darby, any insight on Langston Love and how he's coming along?
Yeah, so he was practicing. He was wearing protective goggles or glasses, I guess, not really goggles because he was kind of taking them on and off. But anyways, besides the point, he was practicing with those, and he was shooting pretty well. And, I would say if he can see and he can shoot, I mean, I don't see how he doesn't play. I think he's still saying it's a game time decision. And Scott Drew kind of said the same thing, day-to-day type of deal. But, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm not a doctor, so I don't really know everything that's going on. But from what I saw today, I think we'll see him play tomorrow.
Yeah, and he brings, and even Scott Drew told us this yesterday, he's 6'4", pretty thick. He brings a physicality that really you're not going to get much of that from Cryer or even Flagler, maybe Keontae at times.
Right, and especially I think Dale, that's probably where Langston has the upper hand, and if Dale's coming in for him now, I completely agree. He's a physical guy, and I think, who doesn't want more this time of year? So if they can have him go tomorrow, I think that really helps, and he's going to just provide some spark even too, because we talked with him today, and it's not fun if he's sitting out this time of year. So the fact that he had to sit out in Kansas City, I know he's very motivated to get out there.
Darby, what do you think about the rest of Baylor's draw? I mean, they're going to play the winner of Creighton and NC State. Alabama's in that side. Arizona's playing right now. What do you think about their matchups, not only potentially for the rest of this weekend, but for next?
It's tough. I mean, I think you look at the bracket all around and probably everybody feels like they have a tough draw, but I think that's a pretty loaded side of the bracket. And I don't know a ton about Creighton, but I definitely get the feeling from what we hear about him and things that would be a really tough game. Of course, we'll see if they get there, and Baylor as well. But so I think it's a tough draw. But no matter where you look at it, this time of year is probably a tough draw. So they'll take what you can get. I'm watching TCU practice right now. I guess I should show you guys if you're looking at the video. But anyways, everybody's excited this time of year, and it's all going to be tough.
Yeah, we see you sitting there in the stands. So, yeah, that's cool to have a little look inside the arena. What's it just like in Denver right now? I mean, is it cold? And can you tell that a bunch of teams' fan bases have rolled into town? When you look around, I mean, does it feel like March Madness out there in Denver right now?
Yes, and I will say that's one thing, I'm glad you brought that up, that I'm sitting here and I don't see a lot of TCU fans, I'll be honest. And I did see a pretty good, small group, but there was a good enough group here for Baylor that they were getting autographs with the players after practice and stuff. So I think that was a good sign for the Bears. And, yeah, it is cold. I got off the plane and saw it was like 27 degrees. I was like, oh, boy, here we go. So I don't know if I packed enough warm clothes. But Good thing is we'll be mostly inside this arena for most of the trip.
Darby, I will tell you, don't do what Smokey and I did when we were there and plan for it with a light jacket.
Yeah.
And then we got caught in the snow.
It was a blizzard.
And it was terrible. It was one of the more embarrassing things, I think, of both our lives. We had to go to a different hotel that was 4 blocks from our hotel. You could see it from the,
just down the street.
drop-off to interview Lisa Leslie for the show. And we had to, because we didn't have any snow gear, take a cab. And the guy was like, seriously?
For
and
4
Smokey's like,
blocks?
I'll give you $25. Just take us. We don't have snow clothes.
Oh, you guys know me. I'm from Arizona. I brought my parka, so I'm prepared. I'm ready to go.
In covering the things you cover, you've been to all the events, and we had you on, of course, when you were at the semifinals and championship game and all that college football. You've been with us for all the Baylor pregame as well. What is your favorite? Anything in particular that has been your favorite thing to cover in your short career?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I mean, I think I was thinking a lot about Baylor's national championship game showing up here today, and just how that was so awesome, but it was also so different. I mean, we were doing a Zoom after the game from up in the stands, and so, it was a really awesome experience. I don't think anything has topped that, but I will say it's refreshing to get here, to be able to get in the locker room again. This is the first time they've let us do that since the pandemic, so, they let us do it in Kansas City too, but it's awesome to be able to kind of feel like we're finally, back to that access that we had before, and so I'm excited to be here, I'll tell you that. But probably the national championship, we got to go with that one for Baylor.
All right, so UC Santa Barbara, the first game tomorrow. If you were to have a player that did not do much in Kansas City who you think will step up tomorrow, who would that be? And you could probably name most of the team, but some guys did play at least pretty well. Who do you think tomorrow must be better for them to take care of business like they're expected to do?
Must be better. I think Flo Thamba needs to be better. I think he needs to rebound better. That is jumps off the page. And I hope, being who he is and how long he's been here and how much pride he takes in this school, that he will do anything he can to grab those boards tomorrow. That's really what I hope to see.
Yeah, they don't need a big goose egg next to a 6'10" or 11 guy with no rebounds like the game with Iowa State. Darby, great to see you. Appreciate your time. Enjoy Denver. And maybe, depending on your time, perhaps we can get a follow-up with you tomorrow, depending on what happens tomorrow with UC Santa Barbara. We appreciate it. Darby Brown from KWTX and the CW, part of all of our Baylor pregame shows, wherever they were. We appreciate her time from Denver. Langston Love.